Yo, this is the Chamber Pod. Look back in time. SummerSlam 1994. And I have to pause because sometimes I say Survivor Series as a slip. This is SummerSlam 1994. JML, Charlie, back at it again, as per usual. Except that one time we had a post show and Charlie was missing.
Just got to bring that up.
I had to put his face on some milk cartons to try to find them. It's okay. It's okay. SummerSlam 1994, Chicago, Illinois. United Center. You know what I did not realize? The United Center had just opened 11 days prior to this event.
Wow.
So brand spanking new United Center. Not yet the home of Michael Jordan. Why? Because Michael Jordan was retired at this time. Michael Jordan did not come back to basketball until March of 1995. Yes, that was off the top of my head. Another weird factoid about this event. It took place on a Monday. Yes.
So weird.
This took the place of Monday Night Raw. I think because Raw was preempted due to the dog show that would air on USA. Or the US Open. Either one of those. It could have been the US Open. I'm going to say it's the US Open. The main story. Oh, you know what else I also remember? Domino's promoted the shit out of this pay-per-view.
What did they do?
Domino's was the sponsor for SummerSlam 1994. That was a huge sponsor.
What did they do?
Well, anytime you walked into a Domino's, you saw this Undertaker versus Undertaker poster.
Oh, okay.
And I think they had like special deals. This SummerSlam sold 300,000 pay-per-views, which was up 120,000 over King of the Ring. So
on a Monday.
It was probably a holiday weekend.
True.
Or a holiday or something. But looking back, you know, sometimes you have rose-colored glasses on. I was very confused as a kid because the first match of the evening, Bam Bam Bigelow and IRS versus the Head Shrinkers. This was originally supposed to be for the tag team titles, but like the night before SummerSlam,
Michaels and Diesel
won the tag
team championship.
So your big pay-per-view, your second biggest pay-per-view, alongside WrestleMania, you don't have tag titles on. In an era where you only have three belts.
Four championships, counting the women's.
Forget the women's title.
Okay.
We'll talk about that when we get there. Which is next, after this match. Coincidentally enough. At this point, this Head Shrinkers, I agree with Vince taking the titles off them. It needed to go. But to do it the night before SummerSlam, I don't know. I think that was... it didn't further anything with with Diesel and Shawn. That you couldn't have done if you gave them the belts a week later.
Yeah.
It was a decent opening tag match. This was actually, you want to talk about, this is one of the usually they start off hot in the pay-per-view. This one, not so hot. It would have been hotter if they had the tag belts.
Yeah, neither team really brought in that opening roar that they usually go for, but what are you going to do?
Anything else you want to add?
No, on to the next match.
We got Alundra Blaze defending the WWF Women's Championship against Bull Nakano, managed by Luna Vachon. Bull Nakano, legendary figure amongst women's wrestling fans. She was way ahead of her time. Way ahead of her time. I actually enjoyed this match.
It was good.
This actually should have been the opener.
Alundra Blaze could have brought in that opening pop. Yeah.
And Luna was a heat magnet.
Yeah.
That probably should have been the opening match for SummerSlam. Bull Nakano goes on several months later. She wins the WWF Women's Championship. Bull Nakano, legendary, so is Medusa. And when you gave Medusa / Alundra Blaze good opponents, they were great matches. The problem
she could work them no matter the size, too.
Yeah, the problem was they didn't have a division. She was the division.
Yeah.
And it shows because once she left the company, they didn't have the women's title for like 3 years.
Wow.
Anything you want to add to this? What should have been the opening match of the pay-per-view?
Alundra Blaze hit that picture perfect German on Bull Nakano for the victory here.
Yes, good point. I was going to bring this up. Simple moves were finishers back then.
Yes.
And a finisher meant something back then. When you hit a finisher, it was done. And
was a finisher.
We'll talk about it during the next match. A finisher is a finisher. Do you want to get to that next match?
Yeah, sure.
We have Razor Ramon with Sweetness Walter Payton, Bears Chicago legend. Now, this is how you use an NFL player.
Yes.
People in Chicago,
a lot of involvement.
They know who Walter Payton is, and people around the world know who Walter Payton is. Versus Diesel with his manager, Shawn Michaels. Match went 15 minutes. Perfect timing on this match. Was a good match. These two obviously liked working with each other. They're best friends, and all their best friends were involved pretty much in this match. Peyton chasing Michaels was great. The ending, I loved it. You know why I loved it? It took one super kick to knock out Diesel.
Yep.
And it sold the super kick. Because up until that point, it was a good move. But then when he hit the super kick on Diesel, that knocked him out for that one, that Razor was able to pin him. It put that move over.
Definitely.
In the feud with Diesel and Michaels, got that move more over than it ever was. So Razor wins the Intercontinental Championship, his second Intercontinental title reign. He goes on to have 3 more. He was definitely one of the best Intercontinental champions of all time. He represented that belt just as good, if not better, than anyone else. Perfect match time, perfect opponents. Probably second best match of the night. I can't say anything more about it.
Agreed.
5th match, the storyline going into this one, is Luger going to join the $1 Million Corporation headed by Ted DiBiase? DiBiase was in Luger's locker room with the bag, all of this stuff. Tatanka and Luger cut a promo. Tatanka was like, "You're going to join. I know it. You're a sellout." Tatanka super over at this time as a face. Luger still super over. So it was a very odd booking to have two faces face each other during this era. Tatanka picks up the win, turns his back on his Native American heritage, and joins the $1 Million Corporation. I was actually really impressed with the backstage segment with Tatanka and Luger. Tatanka cut a really good backstage promo.
Yes, he definitely did.
Tatanka, and I'm like, hindsight being 2020, he was able to cut such a good promo. He didn't need DiBiase. Why would you need DiBiase?
Like we said, if we could book Tatanka, he would have been a lot more than he ended up being. But
Tatanka would have been Intercontinental Champion about 2 times
least.
if we were booking.
At least.
So he beats Luger. He beats down Luger after the match because of the money. I didn't like this. I didn't like the whole storyline. Tatanka deserved more. What say you?
I thought it was a good way to turn heel. Shoving the bill down Lex Luger's throat, joining $1 Million Man. Did he deserve more out of a singles run rather than being in a group? Yeah, but I guess this was what was in booking for him to join the $1 Million Corporation.
Tatanka got screwed.
Yeah.
If you look back, he was as over as anyone in the company.
He had it all.
This
was
was
everything that a singles competitor should have.
This was an ill-advised heel turn. It actually would have made more sense to have Luger had just turned heel, but I feel like Vince was like, "Oh no, it's too predictable. Blah blah blah. We're gonna have Tatanka turn heel. Like, let's just swerve him."
Could have been.
But you have someone like Luger, who was a better heel at any point in his career than he was as a babyface.
Yeah.
People will argue 97 Luger, WCW, when he beat Hogan, was like his pinnacle. But that's because a lot of people only watched during that era of wrestling. If you watched like the heel Horseman Luger, the Narcissist Luger prior to this, he was much better suited in the heel role than he ever was as a babyface.
His promos probably didn't seem forced either, which they definitely did in the All-American Lex Luger.
Yeah. And Luger's obviously, he's changed and turned around his life in recent years. But Luger was known to not be such a nice guy in real life either.
Oh, really?
Yeah. To the point where he was actually really annoyed about having this Made in the USA gimmick with the Lex Express. Like, he did not like any of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, then we go on to a modern day classic. Next match, modern day classic. Jeff Jarrett defeats Mabel with the greatest manager of all time, Oscar. You want to talk about a rise? A year from now, a year from SummerSlam 94 to 95, Mabel goes from losing in a 6-minute match to Jeff Jarrett to be in the main event match following SummerSlam.
I'll never understand why they put Mabel in that main event spot, but go on.
I can't say anything else about this. This was the drizzling pooped. It was not good.
No.
The stereotyping of, it bothers me. It just bothers me. The whole Oscar Mabel gimmick. It's just horrible. Then we have the real modern day classic, 33-minute steel cage match.
Yes.
And people are surprised that this wasn't the main event, but when you have Undertaker versus Undertaker on the poster, I guess you have to make that the main event.
Yeah.
For the WWF Championship, Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. Wow. That is how you do a steel cage match.
They hit every spot you possibly could and more.
You know who the main event, like the key participant of this match was?
Who would that be?
The steel cage.
Absolutely.
They used the steel cage perfectly. Trying to escape through the door, over the top. How many times did they get the slingshot to the testes?
Yeah.
It was just so well executed, performed. I can't remember off the top of my head a better steel cage match than this one. And if you can, or anyone that watches this, comment down below.
Comment below.
Bret Hart between 93 and 97. It was just an all-time GOAT era for matches. It seemed like every pay-per-view match this man had was a clinic. You put him in against anyone, and they were 4 or 5-star matches. Not only from the match aspect, but the storytelling aspect of everything. The fact that outside of the ring, the entire Hart family was, in the re-debut of Davey Boy as an added layer to this match.
Yep.
Brought something different. And I forgot how hard of a bump that Diana Hart Smith took.
Oh my God. She got clothesline along with Davey Boy. That was something else.
She took his weight over top of her.
Yeah. Flipping over the
guardrail. That was crazy. Bret wins. Owen thinks he's the winner. But, he tells Todd Pettengill, I'm going to be out celebrating with Neidhart and all of this. So the storyline will continue between them. Charlie, what's your thoughts, man?
Like we said, they hit every spot you possibly could in that steel cage. I loved Owen hanging from his ankle at the end of it. It was a great finish. Yeah, it was a classic. Instant classic.
The suplex.
Yeah.
People will say, oh, it was so long. I could have watched an hour of that match.
Definitely.
And been okay with it. Then we have the main event of the evening. We have The Undertaker versus The Undertaker. Charlie, you want to explain the storyline?
Paul Bearer's Undertaker versus Ted DiBiase's Undertaker. The original Undertaker was beaten by Yokozuna and about half the locker room at Royal Rumble and put in the casket.
9 men.
What?
9 men.
9 men. Put in the casket and brought down about halfway down the ramp when there was a video of Undertaker on the screen.
Yep.
Saying he will not rest in peace. So that Undertaker goes missing from Royal Rumble to SummerSlam. Now you have me saying Survivor Series. Goes missing from Royal Rumble till SummerSlam. Ted DiBiase brings in who he says is the Undertaker to do his dirty work. And here you have the culmination of all of that when Paul Bearer's Undertaker returns live at SummerSlam. And
who was hot on the trail of the Undertaker?
Leslie Nielsen throughout the whole night. Great vignettes.
And if you guys don't know who Leslie Nielsen is, please go watch Naked Gun.
Yes.
Any of his spoof movies, the dude was a legend. and he was so hot during this era that this was like a huge get for WWE at the time to get Leslie Nielsen. So we have Undertaker. The real Undertaker defeats the fake Undertaker. And another added layer was Ted DiBiase was the one who actually brought the original Undertaker to WWF Survivor Series. So, as a storyline, it was great. As a match, being the main event of a pay-per-view, I don't know. The fake Undertaker was played by Brian Lee, who in real life is best friends with Mark Calloway. Brian Lee also played Chains from the Disciples of Apocalypse, the biker gang.
Oh, all right.
I mean, you could tell there was a height difference between the two Undertakers. And so this match finished with the tombstone. See you later, Undertaker. The real Undertaker is back. Sends the crowd home happy. This was a lot better than King of the Ring '94. No Art Donovan on commentary. Yeah, I mean, I was a fan of this pay-per-view. You got two or three really good matches. The rest are kind of filler, but I would do a thumbs up for this one.
Took all the stories going on at the time to the point that they needed to go on the Survivor Series.
Yep. Again, if you guys want to comment, you guys can actually pick the next pay-per-view after we do Survivor Series 94. Just type in what pay-per-view you want us to go over. I mean, if we get one comment that says Sold Out 97, we'll have to do it. With that being said, we also have the subscriber giveaway.
There you go.
Seth Rollins autograph from 2015 SummerSlam, which is awesome. Anything you want to add for our viewers?
That's for 1,000 subscribers. We're still waiting on comments for the Macho Man pop vinyl to give away. Please like, subscribe, share these videos. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. The support has been great. And if you like the content that we're putting out, let us know two ways: in the comments or sharing it with someone else. The greatest compliment we can get is the comments and sharing this content with someone else.
Absolutely.
With that being said, we're going to wrap this up. And as per usual, how do we sign off?
Good night and good luck.
Good night and good luck.